We're streaming, I think. Let me just open that. It's opening. Takes a little while. I think we are. Yes, I think we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another beautiful conversation with a beautiful soul that I have the pleasure of knowing. This angel named Ruth Kent, who has been such an inspiration to me, one of my first mentors and healers and guides since I started this beautiful journey of service, of healing, of all these beautiful things that we came here to do as light workers, as people who care, people who want to share their light, people who want to help other people. And in Ruth, I have found such a compassionate soul, such a compassionate healer, so empathic. And I just want to share with you a little bit about Ruth. So Ruth retired 47 years of healthcare. So that's deeply embedded in her system service, which included 41 years as intensive care trauma nurse in 2015. At that time, she moved into a full-time business she had created, grounded in offering individuals tools to restore and sustain balance, health, and well-being. The tools are the Emotion Code, Body Code, Success Together program, Nick and Wellness Business and Technology, among others. She had the honor and joy of teaching the Emotion Code seminar for 5 years throughout the USA and South Africa. She's also an author and a speaker. Ruth also enjoys her role in life as mother to her daughter Nicole and her family, and her granddaughter. Is it granddaughter, right?
Yes.
Yes. Ruth is frequently heard to say, I am blessed and highly favored. And truly enjoys life and every opportunity life holds. So welcome, Ruth. Thank you so much for being here. Your light right now is very much needed. It is very important for us to know that there are people like you out there, out here, to provide the support, to let people know that they're not alone and that they can reach out, that we are just one message away, one call away. And what a beautiful soul to have here and to share with us her wisdom around the topic of the day, which is the pineal gland, our gateway to the universe, and how it ties in with everything that we're living. But we'll see where the conversation goes. So I'm just going to open the floor for Ruth to share her beautiful wisdom with all of you.
Well, thank you, darling. I was sharing as I was getting prepared for this time together that, first of all, I didn't want it to sit here and just say, well, I know this and I know that. I wanted to be experiential, but I also wanted to see like a survey where people are. And I was amazed. There are some people that I know meditate a great deal. And I said, well, what do you know about the pineal gland? And it was kind of like a short, little, statement. And then I was listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he was talking about the releases and the different evolutions and the different levels and the mystic and all this, and I remembered going to nursing school and kind of getting the glazed look, like, I think this is too much information. Do I need to know all this? But we do, because thanks to Joe Dispenza, and I love how he says, I don't care what people think about me. And he said something I thought was really cool too. And it's a little bit off track, but I thought it was such an important phrase. Health and wellness can be infectious as disease. And I thought, that's what we're seeing. Right now, yes, the coronavirus is severe. But if we only focus on that virus, we're feeding it. So I'm asking everybody to right now, not only do this with the situation at hand, but I want people to walk away with tools that are going to help them to manage every situation in life. And so that's my intent.
I love
Okay.
that. I love that. Thank you so much. That's exactly what we need right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And so as a nurse, we knew that the pineal gland had something to do with the circadian rhythm, melatonin for sleep, vision, but we didn't understand vision, like beyond what we're seeing, the snapshot of life, what we so often call reality. Yeah, but this is true. Well, do we really know that it's true?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feed us, let's go somewhere else anyhow, you know? So, so over the years, faith, as people know me, faith has always been number one. And when I, Ruth, can't think about the pineal gland, I think about connecting to that unconditional love inside.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a information that surprised me, but yet didn't. They're finding in children the imbalance in the pineal gland. You know, you think about that pineal gland is right next to the hypothalamus and the pituitary deals with all the hormones of our, the glands of our entire system. Mm-hmm. So this little gland gets tipped, it affects quite a bit. And they're seeing that EMF is affecting this in children. By 18 years old, most children now, by the age of 18, have calcified pineal glands.
Yeah.
We're not dreaming. We're not visionizing. You ask them, well, what do you want in life? Well, I don't know. Maybe I want this,
And it's not your fault, right? It's just the way the system is built. And I was actually talking about that earlier today. What is making our pineal glands calcified? Fluoride in the water.
Fluoride.
Toothpaste.
Being inside.
Being inside, not getting enough sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And also breathing. Honestly, as a nurse, I can't say I really knew how to, how many times did I tell my patient, deep breathe? Like every day, but to really deep breathe. And when you take in a deep breath and you take in a breath, and there's patterns. Some say, do the count of 5 in through your nose, hold it for 3, blow out for 5, and hold it for 3. Some say, breathe in for 8, hold it for 4, out for 8, and hold it for 4. Now, the reason I'm going over that is very important. Because when you're deep breathing in, I say, just feel that unconditional love is going in, okay? And it's nurturing every cell in your body, okay? So then as it goes that, you're holding that lower stomach and the upper stomach, and you're holding it in and like compressing. Well, what happens, and I'm going to abbreviate this, Joe Dispenza will probably go, oh, my goodness. For more detail, go to his YouTube.
So well, Ruth.
But what happens is that the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus are being compressed, and this energy is coming up to open up the pineal gland. Okay? So getting rid of that calcification, giving it life again. And one of the things that it's a value word for me is from the sacral chakra, that's where your joy is. So elevate that. And when you're in a place of joy and gratitude, you're going to think beyond what is. What can I do? What can I be? you know,
Mhm.
using those phrases, because with the Celtification, let's go back to that for just a minute. Uneasiness, uncertainty,
Mhm.
jealousy, pessimistic, cynical,
Yeah.
you know, everything you don't want to be.
Mhm.
But okay, so you open it up. Start with a door opening up, because before you know it, it's like, OMG, you know. And
I-
in the work that we do, and I blessed to have a partner in in benefit here,
yeah.
is I feel that yes, we could talk about that. We could talk about meditation, yoga, deep breathing, but I believe that inherited emotions, inherited faulty core beliefs,
Mhm.
paradigms
Mhm.
are so stacked up that to get that joy, that breathing, to connect with source, you know, through the pineal gland, the universe, the
Mhm.
infinite, infinite wisdom, infinite possibilities, infinite love. Okay, to connect with that, we got to clear the files that
Yes.
are 99% of our intelligence.
Yes.
And I have people, there was a gentleman from Colorado, and he said, after working with him a while, he said, you know, Ruth, I think I have to tell you something. I said, okay. He said, you know, I was atheist. And I said, okay. Then I kind of became agnostic. I, okay. He says, now you got me thinking there's somebody up there, you know, and it was simply connecting to his possibilities,
Yeah.
his potential,
Yeah.
and you know, he'll come back for a like a spring cleaning every once in a while. He says,
We're doing now. Yeah.
yeah, but you know, I look at my own life, um, and I there was a YouTube by Joe Dispenza, and it's YouTube Tacoma, where he actually shows the neurons, you know, releasing the old paradigms and to create that path of potential enlightenment. Okay.
Mhm.
Repetitive words, phrases. Okay. So I was thinking about that with this. You get rid of the files that don't serve you. And then so many people are stuck with the phrase, well, I really don't know what I want.
Mhm.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for any one of us.
Mhm.
Do we not want to be loved and validated? You know, Oprah said in all of her people that she interviewed on her show, what was the one thing that it was consistent that everybody wanted?
Love.
That's what I thought, love, respect, you know. No, to be validated.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as we're working with this and we're attaching to the vision, but what happens, and this is the big part, is that they're igniting the love, the approval, the gifts that are not only what they know, but they become to be aware of. And so I often tell people, you know, and I say, you know, God, Lord, Jesus, use whatever, you know, it makes you happy, you know. But I say, Lord, help me to love me the way you love me and to bring this love forward. And I get to that place of, you know, I can feel it just even when I say it. And so when you're working at practicing becoming more connected to that receiving from opening the pineal gland, seeing beyond the present to all potential, and get unstuck, as many people will say, simply say, I am open to, and I'm open and willing to receive the abundance. I am fully abundant. I am loved. I am. I am is one of the most powerful phrases you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we've talked about breathing, we talked about sun gazing, yoga. What was the other thing? But meditation, that was it. Yeah. And one of the things that I've used recently with meditation, Joe Dispenza has said that when he's doing the deep meditation with these advanced people that not only connect to the bigger vision, but psychic, clairvoyance, their gifts are just excelled. And the more you do this, the more you find out how many gifts you have. Yes. I'm just saying.
Case in point. Yep. Not long ago, I was at a corporate job as a financial analyst, and now I'm discovering gifts that I didn't even know I had. I can channel, apparently.
Yes.
A couple of years before, I had no idea, but since I started this journey of self-discovery, of awakening, of connecting to a higher power, of opening up my inner vision, igniting my vision, I started discovering all the gifts that I came here to share. And one of those gifts is the gift of energy healing, like Ruth.
Right. And, for us to be in that place to serve even, greater. I have 2 oils that I keep by me, intuition and forgiveness, frankincense, oils, crystals. Crystals is another thing. I have crystals all over my office here.
Welcome to the tribe.
Yeah. And these are all gifts to me, which I think are extremely exciting. One of the meditations that I've used is what I was going to say. Joe Dispenza talks about when he says a certain word, he sees the spike in the gamma waves, the gamma connection. Well, for me at this present time, I do amazing well with a meditation I get put on my phone. It's called Divine Flow Meditation. And it's just tones.
Is that meditation by Joe Dispenza?
No. It's actually just one that I found.
Okay.
I Googled Divine Flow Meditation.
Okay.
And it has the tones. And I did a retreat a couple years ago, and there was a gal that sang the different chakra tones. And this meditation very much works with that, presence. So I find myself like all of a sudden I'm in a different world. I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. And I love where I'm at. But there it is just love and wonderful and beautiful. So that's another thing, meditation, but use the tools that are going to, people get into this should. Remove the word should. This is your opportunity. And you'll find things that align with you as you move forward, okay? But another thing, when I was teaching the seminars with travel and everything, I would find myself sometimes a little tilted, a little exhausted, And I never once, when I was in that place of serving, did I want to be anything but in that alignment. And hydration, prayerfulness. Also, when I felt myself going, I created a button, and I have to have it right here. And it says stop, pause, and pray.
Yeah.
Some people put stop, pause, and breathe, whatever you want. But the minute you get to the pause, guess what you're doing? Yeah. So that's another thing. And then also introducing people to certain supplements. And adaptogenics are wonderful. When I'm writing, when I have a full day of clients, 100%, to support me in being in that center, being in that place. And there's a website. His name is Roger Drummer. And there's actually a free book that you can get about adaptogenics. And it's herbworks.com. And he has a drink. It's called Tianqi. It's an adaptogenic, adrenal support. But it's like all of a sudden, with ease, you're just receiving. And I'm sure you have done it. I know every session it seems like it happens. But you go, oh, I don't know where I got, it just was brought through me, and it's connecting to that source, and it comes out freely. There's no hesitation. We're not thinking, oh, this isn't so. No, it's that deeper knowing that, yeah, okay, this is it. And every time you just allow that flow, people will say, how did you know that? Or they'll come back and say, what did you say? That was really good. I go, you should have catched it the first time.
You're channeling, right? Like you are allowing yourself to be an open vessel for this higher power to come through you and for you to deliver the message that needs to be heard.
Absolutely.
By that. Yes, and it's leaving ego aside, because what does ego do? Ego tells you, are you sure? Quite makes you question yourself. Are you good enough? Maybe you're not qualified to say this. So many, like, it's the naysayer, the little voice telling you all these lies. And
see, and that happens when you're not activating, or there's something disrupting the balance of the pineal gland. Those naysayers, those shadows, just become the focus, not the infinite, not, and there's, I don't know if you can see it on my shelf. It says, where God guides, he provides.
I can't see it. But
there's a book on the top shelf, and what the phrase is, where God guides, he provides. Well, don't stay in your little box. Open it up.
Yeah.
And all that can come to you. I was in prayer one day, and I laugh every time I say that, because I do it all day long.
Every day, every moment of your life.
Well, one day.
But one particular, I remember this.
So I was sitting there, and I said, okay, I'm just going to open it up with the statement, the question. And what can I do? Because you want to take this into action, okay? You don't know, you want to receive this, but also act upon it. Okay, that's so important, because I have a lot of people meditating, but they're not acting on it. And
it's in manifestation, right? It's getting that insight, getting that inspiration, but we are also living in a physical plane of existence. We need action, that masculine energy, that feminine energy, allowing it to flow through us.
Yeah, action's the bridge between the inner world and the outer world.
Exactly. Yes. I love that. Yeah, definitely.
So I was sitting there, and I said, how can I increase my net worth without requiring more time? Ask, not just for the sake of asking. ask with the intention of knowing that you're going to have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That knowing is the key. Okay? That's the connection that you have to the universe. So I'm sitting there, and for me, I say, God, source, he said, buy a house. I thought he had a great sense of humor. I thought, yeah, right. No. In 4 days, I had a house, but I didn't only have a house. I had a house that had an office separate, and I have the ability to create an Airbnb, another source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like one thing after another.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, now who would have thought that? No. And that's where there's also a gentleman that, I was sitting here on last Saturday night, 11:30. And I sat here and I said, for those that don't have somebody to know or pray for them, I send them love. Mm-hmm. For all the connections that I've made in all my life and all the ones that I have yet to make, I send my love. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting here probably 30 minutes later. I get a phone call from a coach I had 10 years ago. And I'm going, oh, this is so strange. But you're going to find yourself saying that because it's beyond what you could do. It just keeps good stuff. Well, he wrote a book, and it's the magic of asking the right questions. Some powerful questions in here. So when you're in that prayer, that meditation, that opening the pineal gland, don't hesitate to ask the questions. Mm-hmm. But don't forget that you're going to have an answer. Mm-hmm. That's faith. So
powerful, because we are not taught how to pray. When we are little, we're just taught, well, at least I can speak for me. I was taught to remember the prayer. I was raised Catholic, but it's like repeating the prayer like a parrot, but not really setting that intention that you said and asking, what's the outcome that I wish? That's so important because every action.
I did that in school, and I too, and I'm still Catholic, but the one that I wanted to emulate was my dad. Mm-hmm. Because I remember him looking up, and I swear between his eyes and something way high up there, where it went, but it was just like there was a beam of peace, joy. Like no matter what my dad was going through, when he was in that moment. So I look back at this and I go, those little things, those little nuggets, is what I wanted to go back to. Mm-hmm. And that brings me to something that I was at an event, and it was for nurses, and it was a holistic event, and they had different workshops. And they said many times they asked their patients or their clients, can you remember a time that there was absolutely peace and joy? Mm-hmm. There are some people that don't have that. By taking these tools, and I ask each one that's listening to this to do it for themselves, but connect to that knowing that you have that capability, you have that power within to connect to the greater version of who you are. And do we see this in our work over and over and over and over again? And what I'm so excited to see is many times you would see it probably in a certain age, meditating, or you would probably see more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I see it in all ages, and I also see it in equal men as women.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the fact that I was seeing people, they didn't have a place of reference.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder they wouldn't know what they wanted, because they didn't have any reference of what to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what brought me to creating the program Success Together. And that was also one of those times that I'm praying, and help me, Lord, to, know what I can do to serve these people. Gave me the complete outline of what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did I have everything perfected? No. And I can't say I still do. But what I do know is that I'm present to each one as it is needed at that moment. There are some people that have taken the program 3 times because
Wow.
they keep evolving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up on you.
Yeah.
And T. Harv Eckert says that, and we hear it from many different people, but it's the be, do, have. So many times we get caught up on the have part. Like, I'm not making money, I'm not doing this, I'm not, that will come as equal to your greatness that comes in, no one to yourself, but as you share it with the world. Are you going to be uncomfortable sometimes? Yeah, but just go within and connect to that. No, you can do this. I am with you. Yes. And you'll find yourself doing things and you go, man, I'm living. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, it's when you connect exactly to that. I was talking about this yesterday, the quantum field.
Yes.
That quantum field that exists, that we cannot name, we cannot see. But Nikola Tesla referred to that as that infinitely intelligent consciousness where all thought particles exist. We connect to this inspiration. That's where we birth new ideas. But we need to open up to that possibility. We need to open up to that field. And how do we connect through that field? Through this inner technology that is inside our brain.
That's right.
Right?
Oh, and another thing, time is a component of a calcified, like, I don't have time. I have, no. Time is of the ego. Time, you have time. But what we tend to do is, I can't have this until I have this and this. Well, who said that?
Mm-hmm.
I have 22 million written on my vision board. I got to tell you, somebody could walk up to my door right now and hand me 22 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but all I do know is I'm walking towards it. And I'm putting a plus sign behind it too.
I love that. Love that. Love it.
Yeah, because what God has given me to do, dream. And there's a dear lady, Mary Morrissey, that you've heard me talk about. I got to tell you, Brene Brown, Kyle Cease, Mary Morrissey, Bill Mayer with writing the right questions. You see, these are all individuals that are going to help you. So listen to some of their videos. Listen to, what is it that you're feeding yourself? Are you listening to the news? Are you listening to, awful conversations?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of conversation are you having in your own head?
Mm-hmm.
Stop, pause, pray, receive. Yeah. And hey, what's her name? Sandra Yancey. She says, hang up on the stinking thinking. And that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I tell people, absolutely, just hang up on it.
That's exactly the inner critic and the naysayer and the one that's telling you can't do something.
Well, and especially comes up and when you're first starting to meditate or when you first start connecting, activating the pineal gland. That's just part of it. But remember, and Mary Morrissey talks about the laws of the universe. Yeah, I mean, I just really like to keep it simple. Just know that all good comes to you, that all your needs will be met. And hang on to that, focus on that. And what are you going to do today? Little habits of Mary Morrissey has 5 little things that she does before she goes to bed. Things like this. Also, what are your daily habits? When you have discipline or habits, they can open you up to creativity and that space, okay? Well, freedom is the word that comes up. There's here, I'll show you. It says, can you read that?
Each chapter of your life, if you keep rereading the last one. Yes.
That's right. So she does that every night before she goes to bed. She goes, so I want to review the day. And then she looks at, what were the good and bad. And then she says, well, that was a blessing. What did I take away from that? And why am I going into this now with the pineal gland? Because these little habits are going to start opening that door for you. They're going to hang up on all the stinking thinking. They're going to activate, I want this. I know I can have this. And if so-and-so can do it, why can't I? There is no reason why not. And I remember sitting at a Dream Builders Live, which I hope we have in June again. I remember sitting there, and for the first time, I remember sitting there going, absolutely, why not me? And I visioned myself in that moment. I'm in a crowd of 400, 500, 600 people. And I literally had this moment all by myself, and I saw my hands reaching out as if I was standing on the Grand Canyon. And what that was a vision of is the infinite waiting for me every moment. Every moment. And I thought, okay. So that took me from wishing to doing. And within 2 months after, and putting just I will type of action, some of the people that came into my life and some of the connections I made,
yeah, you're in the flow with the universe. You are guided every moment because you're tapped in, you're tuned in, you're tuning in to that guidance, to your inner GPS, right?
That's right. And this is why it's important because, and I'll be honest with you, I did this myself. I found myself in the flow and I got busy, okay? Don't ever get too busy without starting your day, probably periodically throughout the day, and ending your day nurturing, opening, and being in that. So that the more you practice it, you don't have to be in that certain room or certain arena. Okay? There. Yeah. And so I'm putting the warning signs out. Don't leave behind what is going to help you to ignite that every minute of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's so important also to, and you touch upon a very important thing. This is not to be expected to develop overnight, because it's like a muscle, and like a muscle you go to the gym to develop the muscle. So you said it very, very on point. When you start meditating, this inner critic is gonna come like very rampant voice, they're telling you. But, and it happened to me, I can speak from experience, because I didn't have a regular meditation practice. And when I started
Mm.
discovering all of this, the universal truths, the universe, how the universe works, the pineal gland, how it connects us to the universe, meditation, I said, oh my God, I need to start a meditation practice. And I swear, the first time I tried it, the first 5 minutes, my monkey mind was already thinking, I'm going to be late for work. I was still working at that time. I'm going to be late for work. And my body was there, but my mind, my consciousness, I projected my consciousness elsewhere. And it took me a while, a little bit of time
Uh-huh. Sure.
to be present in the moment. But I did it because I had the intention to open up my connection to a higher power. I had that intention. And I was not going
Wow.
to let that go until I became one with the universe at some point. I,
Mm.
when that happened, the first time I tapped into this quantum field, I remember I didn't feel my body, and in my mind's eye, I started seeing like geometric shapes and all types of colors, and I was not high on anything. It's it's just like I said,
Well, one of the releases is like LSD from you if you get really elevated in the pineal gland. Yeah.
I mean, I was not on any out external substance, but
Yes.
like producing substance generated by the pineal gland, which is DMT.
Yep. Yep.
And yes, but it's a, once you have that intention to connect to yourself, and for me, my intention was God, source, universe, please show me, what did I come here to do?
Hmm.
Because after feeling so unfulfilled and having ticked off all the boxes of things that I needed to accomplish, and I did accomplish, and at some point I was happy. But then I started feeling empty, and I started asking myself,
Mm.
where is this void coming from? If I have everything someone could ever ask for. And I was not complaining, but I was still feeling like there was something missing. And
Sure.
that something missing is your soul telling you that there is something beyond what our physical eyes can see in this
Yeah.
reality. There is something way more, the picture is so much bigger that we can't even grasp. And there is a, everything in this universe is connected. We are all connected. There is a divine blueprint for everything. You have a role to play here, Ruth. I have a role to play.
Hmm.
And how we connect our souls, I believe they made a pact before we incarnated in order
Oh
for us
yeah.
to walk each other back home. And where is home? I've been saying it in previous videos. Home is within. And
Hmm.
when you connect to that knowing, no external disruptor, especially what we're seeing now happening in the
Hmm.
news,
Hmm.
can permeate that core knowing, that inner guidance, that inner knowing that everything is going to be okay,
Yeah.
because you are in control of your own state of being. You are the creator of your own reality. I'm
Well,
not.
and that's one of the definitions in the definition of the emotion code and body code. It helps you to manage, situations in the moment, and that's
Mhm.
what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. I have a, a lady from Alabama, and she said, "My husband wants to know what happened to me." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She was in a situation that normally she would have just, you know, you know, reamed them up one side and down another. And she walked over there. She stated her situation, and she came back and sat down. And her husband looked at her, and he said, "What did you do with my wife?" you know, but you find that, and she said to me last night, she said, with what's going on in the world right now, I can't thank you enough, because this in the past would have devastated me so much that all I would have been doing is crying in bed. I would not have been a help to myself or my daughter, my son.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, and to move on to excel in her gifts, you know, it's different evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear what you're saying. Give it time.
Mm-hmm.
But don't lose sight. Don't settle is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the phrase I'm a cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's settling to me. And that's my word. I understand it. What I would say is I'm a thriver. You know, you were just part of that book, Woke.
Yes.
And these individuals, the situations we're talking about right now today, is exactly those pivotal moments that I call it my PowerPoint. You know, you hit that point and you can either go down and stay down or you go up.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you become aware of that,
Mm-hmm.
the more you ask those questions and know that you're going to have an answer, the bigger the container gets, the bigger the visions get, the bigger the awareness that every day you get to be better and better.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. I know what you mean, because it happened to me right now, where all the crisis broke and everything. I was abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was traveling, I didn't know if I would be able to come back to Canada. I was in the US. I was at a retreat in San Diego when they announced that they might potentially close the borders.
Right.
So no, I didn't know. I was uncertain. I was amidst uncertainty, and my family's not here. My family's in Mexico. So instead of me worrying about a specific scenario that hadn't happened, which was the borders are going to close, are they closed? Not yet. Are they going to be closed when I get there? I will find out when I get there. But if I let that thought, if I let myself be carried away by that thought, I'm not going to enjoy the present moment. And I was enjoying my retreat. I was among wonderful women who, like you, are leaders in their own niche. They are light workers. They are guides. And I was there with them. And I was so blessed and so grateful to be there
Yeah. Yeah.
and to allow myself to be open. At the end of the day, I knew that whatever happened when I came back eventually, I would be able to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
because I am self reliant and I know that I am guided at
Yeah.
every moment in my life, that I am in the flow with the universe, that everything will work out as long as I surrender. And that's the most difficult part
Yeah.
for humans, because we like to have this sense of control, but most of the time we don't, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it.
You know, I want people to know also that, you know, there are people that have died. There's thousands of people that have died. Do I understand that? No. Am I, you know, saddened, and do I pray for them as well as their families? Absolutely. But I also want to make something right about this. And I believe that, you know, with every tragedy, with every heartache, there's an equal to greater benefit.
Mm-hmm.
That life was not lost. That life was given for a huge, you know, awakening,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. There was, you know, it's sad. I get that. But, and it's not that, I mean, 41 years intensive care nursing, I've certainly dealt with death and dying. But in my own personal life, my husband suddenly died 3 years ago. I remember walking back to the room and I said, this really hurts. This really sucks. But what am I grateful for? And immediately I heard he didn't suffer. But I also knew that he was a chance to expand his heart more than, ever before. And I can only tell you that, I miss him. But I decided to live on for him, with him, in the memories. And he drops pennies every once in a while just to remind me, yo, you aren't, quite doing it, But and let me just tell you how powerful. I think he's part of the tribal troop from upstairs, I had my arm straight out in front of me, and I was just saying, Ron, I haven't heard from you recently, And there was a penny all of a sudden on my forearm.
What?
And yeah, and I was trying to get my phone to take a picture of it because I thought no one's going to believe me. And I thought no one has to.
Exactly. Yeah. And
that's another thing that Joe Dispenza says. He said, I don't care what people think. I don't either.
Me neither. Me neither.
I and so one time when I was just starting this out, and I was, let's face it, I was invested what people were thinking at that time. Mm-hmm. And I care what people, I care about people very much. Yeah. But their opinions or thoughts, it's, what are you answering to your higher self? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one day I was like, man, I'm just having a hard time, and I couldn't hear and I couldn't connect, and I went to church. I didn't even get my foot in the door, and the priest is saying, meet the people where they're at. I thought, okay, got my message now. So
I can leave now.
Yeah. So fun. But yeah, that's really true, because if we go with judgment, that's not from the pineal. That's not the greater vision. Love them for who they are and where they're at, not right or wrong. And they will feel that. They will know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know it, and I feel it every time I've been in session with you. Mm-hmm. Just your love is so palpable, and the healing that you do is so profound. And I am so grateful for you, Ruth. And you are one of my earth angels. You have healed me so much, and I am so eternally grateful to you, and so eternally grateful for you sharing your soul, your gifts, your essence with me and with this group today, especially now that we need it the most. So before we leave, I want you to let people know how they can contact you, how they can get in touch with you. I'm gonna leave your contact information anyways when the live is over, but please go ahead and tell them how they can reach you.
Well, one of the best ways is my website, ruthkentllc.com. And the Success Together program, we put back a little bit. We're going to start the week after Easter. Okay. And there's a Sunday night program and a Wednesday morning program. So people can let me know. It's a 10-week program. And my email is ruthkentpresent@gmail.com. And I got that email from listening to Eckhart Tolle. And he says, to be in the power of now, the minute you have a thought, you're in the before or the after. And this is what we're talking about. Connect to that power point in you and be in the power of this moment. So That's
And
it.
you were a present. Now I understand why you wrote that email. You are a present. You are a present to us all. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you, and I honored to journey this time here on earth with you as well, an earthly angel. God bless you.
Thank you so much. We are all connected. You have support right here with Ruth, right here with me. You guys don't hesitate to reach out. If you ever feel anxious, if you ever feel like this is too overwhelming, you are not alone. That is a message.
And just know everything has a solution. That's that knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I will make sure to leave your contact information on after the live stream is over. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for this beautiful conversation with this earth angel, my Ruth Ken. Bye guys.
Blessings. Be
Blessings.
well.
Bye.